go.
What's happening with P Diddy isn't the distraction, it's the point. Many people are posting how what's being talked about with Puff Daddy or P Diddy is a distraction from Trump's second would-be assassinator. We're getting too close to finding out who the assassination attempt person was. No, that's not what it was. What's going on with P Diddy is the point. It's the point to all of this. Gotta do something about these missing children grabbed up by perverts. Too many incidences. Fast trial. F-day penalty. No party like a P. Diddy party. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, now P. Diddy. And P. Diddy's got it all on tape. He's got, 15 years of tapes of star-studded celebrities doing unthinkable things to minors. Why is Kamala Harris surrounding herself with Hollywood when Hollywood is falling? Is the district attorney in California during the time when all of this was happening? Because these allegations against P. Diddy and all of these other Hollywood elites, they're not new. They've been going on for years. Is it just now being brought up? Why did Danny Masterson just now get held accountable for what he did? Why is P. Diddy just now sitting in jail after, 15 years of this stuff? Why is it just now that Kim Porter, who is P. Diddy's ex-girlfriend, now just coming out with her book? After she passed away mysteriously from pneumonia in 2018, why just now? What's happening in Hollywood and with P. Diddy and the rest of them is not the distraction, and it is the thing that you should be talking about. Did you know that back in the 16th century, the royal elites thought that they could stay youthful by bathing in the blood of virgins? Did you know that here in 2024, that is a topic that is still being talked about, that is still being looked into, that is still actively being used? Did you know that there are still thousands and thousands and thousands of migrant children that are unaccounted for that just disappeared at the border? We gotta do something about all these missing kids. What changed and why now? Political theater is the distraction. Everything that is going on with Hollywood and all of these people, this is the point, and this is what you need to be paying attention to. Because P. Diddy is going to sing like...
Wow. All right. Heavy stuff. What's up, guys? Members. We're going to need this to get through today. But, hey. Happy Members Live. We're going for it today, guys. This Diddy stuff, I've been listening to some things on it, and holy smokes, it's crazy. So we're going to talk about it a little bit today, why the timing is crazy, why this is blowing up, and I don't think it's coincidental by any means. So, wow. Anyways, what's up, guys? Let me say hey to everybody. Troy Mann first, Chad Youngkin second. Scott Volkovich was third, but Scott's not a member. So Darren is third. What's up, buddy? You win by default there. So Toe Cramp, Blue 5, BN Pro. I feel bad for all these people that didn't realize it was a members live and they jumped on. Maybe they'll jump in as members. Vin Man, Andy Brewer, Michael Height, Honey Badger, Frank Anastasio, Matthew Parker, Toe Cramp, Danielle, Kamala Freak Off. Oh, dear God. Yeah, Vinman says, scum above Diddy control the music industry. I believe these are the same people in control of Wall Street. I think I believe you. He's going to get Epsteined. I think it's possible. He's already on suicide watch. How many days? That's the question. Well, maybe it won't happen. You know, they never killed Ghislaine Maxwell. So maybe they'll be able to protect him. Toe Cramp says, crimes against children equal the common denominator, no matter the political affiliation. Exactly. Blue 5 says, yep, knew that bathing in blood was an old concept. Kind of scary, might still be happening. It is. What's up, Shogun? Stuck in traffic. I'm sorry. We'll keep you company. So, all right, the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I touched on it before a little bit, but I was listening to Megyn Kelly's last show, and she really went into some of the Diddy stuff and talked about some things I hadn't known, and just reminded me of some things I did know. And then also was making the ties to like Oprah and all that stuff that just went on with Kamala. Anyways, I just thought, hey, Members Live, this is where we can deep dive the stuff that could get me in trouble otherwise. So why not? Let's talk about it. So it's pretty clear for those who don't know, and I don't know where you've been if you don't know, but P. Diddy just got arrested a year ago. He got in trouble with this lawsuit that came out against him that got public got out there and had all these very lurid stories about him. And these had been whispers for years, but it came out in these documents from the testimony against him. And it was crazy. And then he fled, he settled that suit, and it just kind of disappeared. And then last week he got arrested again. And now it's all coming back out. And all the stuff, all the craziness is just leaking out bit by bit. And the timing, I mean, is unbelievable. We're 6 weeks before the election. And you know that 90% or more of those going to be outed in all this are going to be celebrities and Democrats. That's what's already happening. And so this is just the insanity. Now, I'm sure there's going to be from the other side in there too. I'm not excusing that. We have no idea how bad it's about to get. But Diddy has been trouble since the beginning. There's a lot of people who believe he is the one who killed Tupac. There's so much. Rappers seem to know it. They've rapped about it many times. Some think he even killed Biggie, his supposedly best friend, to make himself more famous, gather stuff. Biggie wasn't playing the game, whatever it is. But he's been doing this for years, and he's been doing this with several stars, including Usher, Cuba Gooding Jr., I don't know most of the new rappers, but there's lots of them. Will Smith has ties to him. LeBron James has ties. Alicia Keys. There's going to be so much coming out. And if you guys haven't heard the stories, he would have these parties. Justin Bieber was another one, abused when he was 15 with Diddy. There's stories that what he would do is he would promise people riches and fame, but get them in, force them to do these horrible sex acts, and he'd film it all. They call them freak off parties, where he would bring in a bunch of gay prostitutes, and he would have all of them just have crazy sex with each other, and young kids abuse women, all these horrible things, and film it all. And then they would have to get IVs because they'd all get so dehydrated. They found 1,000 pounds of baby oil in his house when they got him. So, I mean, this stuff is absolutely crazy. And it's coming out, and the timing, I just, like this woman says right here, okay, it's not a distraction, it's the point. And then she talks about Trump and his timing and how it's about the kids. And she talks about how this has gone back through days of old with the baby stuff. And if you research all the people Oprah's been affiliated with, it's sick. It's very sick. And so, I mean, this stuff, it's right now coming out is crazy, because all of this is going to bring out more stuff that's going to be favorable to Trump, because it's going to expose all the outsiders. And I don't know if you guys know that with Trump, the belief is with him, we don't know this 100%, but a lot of evidence points to this, okay? Including the timing of when he stopped hanging out with these people, when he started turning on them, the fact that they all turned on him and hate him and are so scared of him. There's just a lot of things. And so the story is that Trump in the 80s and 90s, big celeb, hung out with all these other people, went on Epstein's plane a couple times, but just from Florida to New York, never went to the island, but was buddy with the Clintons, all that. And then around 2004, Epstein started hitting on somebody at Mar-a-Lago, young girl, and saying these things that really disturbed Trump. And Trump banned him from Mar-a-Lago. Now, I think, personally, there's a much darker stuff that Trump found out. And I think he started finding out what the Clintons were doing, especially with Haiti, and what was going on with all the children, the pedophilia, the child sacrifice, all this craziness behind the scenes with the Clintons, Epstein, and all this Hollywood. And I think what happened is after all those years, Trump thought he knew these people, and then he was exposed to the dark side, and he turned on them. And that's when they all started hating him. And he came out very strong against Obama during 2012, all that stuff. And that's when you start seeing the change in Trump. You can chart it back to between '04 and '08 when all this stuff happened. And it makes perfect sense why they all hate him so much now. Because it doesn't make sense that he would just politically change. He was a lifelong Democrat. What happened was this finding out the craziness going on. And now we already got a lot of exposure with Epstein, but Diddy is even crazier because it's one thing to expose a guy with all the politicians. Yeah, that's one thing. And we didn't get the list. It was just the beginning. It's another thing to get the guy who's got all the celebrities and the ties to that world, because everybody is paying attention to that. Normal people, regular Joes, they don't like to pay too much attention to politics. Want to just go about their lives, watch their Netflix, go to their movies on the weekend, read People magazine. At least in the old days, they read People magazine. But it's more fun, it's entertaining, it's escapism. But when they start seeing all that stuff come up on their favorite actors, actresses, musicians, whoo, that's where it's going to get crazy. So Michael Haidt says, kind of like the Ashley Madison stuff leaked out along RFK and that journalist. Yeah, how about that RFK stuff with the journalists? They never touched each other. Just a couple texts. Crazy. And we don't even know how bad that is yet. And then you get the Ashley Madison stuff with, what's his face, Mark Robinson, North Carolina. He's denying it, but it seems like it probably is true. But we don't know what he actually did with that. He could have just registered just to look around when he was having a bad day or some. We don't know how bad it got. But it's a little different than this. But they are trying to leak that out to distract. Darren Collins says he bit the hand of those who feed him and the shit went south. Exactly. My thoughts on GDC? I don't have any thoughts on GDC. Blue 5, it's like a sex cult deal that one would hear about in Hollywood. It is. Yeah. I don't think this is Scientology related. I don't. What's up, Barbara? Honey Badger, did he promise 72 virgins? ESK, what's up? Danielle, what happened with Clintons in Haiti? The Clinton Foundation started a connection to Haiti where they would constantly, under the guise of helping as a charity, they were smuggling children. And they got busted at one point where a woman had 33 Haitian children working for the Clinton Foundation brought over to America, and she got busted. And they played it all off like it was, some kind of mistake. And they let her go. But this has been well known for a long time that the Clintons smuggle children, sell them into pedophilia. They're awful. The Clintons are some of the worst people alive. And I'd love to get Buzz talking on this someday, if I can get Buzz back, and ask him more about that side of things. But yeah, that seedy stuff's been going on. And it's been being exposed in the dark channels of the web for a few years now. There's so much overwhelming evidence. It's honestly scary, but it's hidden and you have to go find it because they don't want you seeing it. But this is the kind of thing that's breaking it all open. And the Clinton Foundation is a racket. It's all about just making the Clintons rich and for dark deeds. It really is. And what's crazy is, I used to believe, I never believed any of this happened. I'll just be honest with you, until about 5-6 years ago. I thought there were Democrats who wanted to destroy America, but it was for their, lining their own pockets and controlling and maybe communism. But I never knew about this really dark side, especially not that it also spread into Republicans. And I knew whispers of Hollywood. I grew up in California, of course. But as bad as it is, I never knew until really started deep diving around 2019. And so this stuff now, it just keeps coming out, keeps affirming what we've all many of us have been believing. And it's getting worse, and it's getting to the point where they can't hide anymore. But you want to know the truth. This is it's probably the actual main reason they're so scared of Trump. On the outside, it looks like they're scared of Trump because they're just communists and want to control everything. That is true. But the other part of it is that Trump ruins the entire ecosystem they've created. of filth and wealth and stealing and power. He ruins all of it. And these are dark, dark people who are engaged in very scary things. And so this is, I don't even know how much I can go into, but if you look, and one of the reasons I'm open to this stuff even before Epstein came out, which was just more affirmation, is because if you actually read history and even biblical history, ancient writings, it's been going on since the beginning of time, which is the sacrifice. Well, look, let me say this. I grew up in Tuolumne County, California, which is in the mountains. It's the biggest county in California by land, but the smallest by population. And because there was so much land and we're in the mountains, I grew up always around witches, covens, Satanist cults, all that kind of stuff. They hide in the mountains, and that's where they do their dark deeds. They go out into the woods, and they do terrible things. And there would be bodies found, and there would be, at our churches, there would be like sacrificed cats and terrible stuff written in blood and all this really crazy stuff. And so I know this stuff exists. I just thought it was kooks. But the truth is a lot of rich and powerful people are engaged in this stuff too. And it goes back historically, and it goes all the way back. You can read it as far back as the early Bible days, where they talk. One of the things God does when he gives them the law in Exodus, a lot of the stuff he gives them is stuff that's opposite of what other cultures are doing. And those other cultures, they're sacrificing children. It's the reason Abraham, when God told him to go sacrifice Isaac, it's the reason he didn't think twice, is because that was normal back then in every other culture. And so Abraham just thought, all right, this God's like all the other ones. I got to sacrifice my kid. And that's why he didn't think twice about it. But then God, the difference, he showed Abraham he was different by sparing Isaac and having him slaughter the goat instead. And so there's no child sacrifice ever in God's name. And so there's all this crazy stuff that goes back historically. And they sacrifice to, I can't remember the name, but he's a stand-in for Satan. Anyways, so this goes back throughout history. And what they do believe is, just like she said in this video, that the blood of the young and the children, it keeps you living forever. And there's a lot of speculation about who does. It's not Baal, it's Molech. Yeah, Baal's another one, but Molech's the one who they sacrifice children to. And so Molech is the big name. He's the owl in the sky, the all-seeing eye, all that. And so anyways, but this has been going on since the beginning of time, okay? And one of the stories of the Bible that most people don't understand, they look at the Old Testament, they're like, God was so mean with all these rules, blah, blah, blah. Like, what a controlling, ugly, mean God. He's so angry, blah, blah, blah. They have no idea what they're talking about because they just don't understand culture and history. But God gave them a law that set them apart and made them different from all the other cultures who were seriously sacrificing their kids, horrible stuff, slavery, rape, you name it. They were animals. And the Jews were different because they were given this law. Now they didn't act different half the time, and they kept doing all these horrible things. And that's why God kept getting them in trouble. And listen, if you go to my Patreon and subscribe to my channel, I talk in depth about this, the covenants of the Bible and why God does what he does, how it all makes sense. There's not one inconsistency in the entire Bible if you actually understand it contextually. I go through all of it. I've done 18 weeks so far, and this week is actually the last week of my course on this subject that is deep diving it. And then I'm going to go on to other subjects, still biblical, but this big analysis. But the point is this, is that this darkness has always been with us, and it's always been in places that weren't in the light, so to speak. And one of the big differences is that as Christianity is spread since the time of Jesus, in 2,000 years ago, there was like 300 Christians when Jesus died, maybe 1,000. And then today, there's 2.5 billion Christians. We're 1/3 of the population of the earth. And what has that done? It's brought light. It has changed society. So now these horrible things we can't even think about, when that used to be how things used to be. That used to be the world back then. And now it has to be done in darkness. And that's because of the spread of Christianity and morality and all that. This is all documented. History proves this. You can argue with me, but history proves this. So it all started with the spread of Christianity, because even the Romans would do this. If you had a baby with a defect in Rome, you'd walk to the edge of a cliff and throw it off a cliff. That's how horrible things were back then. So history is crazy. But anyways, the point is they always did this. Okay. And they still do it today when they're operating in darkness. And this is how you see, and we don't know, I'm not going to name names because I don't know all the people. There's a lot of speculation, and some of it I'm sure is not true and some of it is. So it's not worth calling out names unless we already have associations. But there's a big belief that this is why a lot of artists and actors stay so young for so long. And yes, there's some fitness has to do with that, and eating better, all that all has a part to play, because they're rich and they get access to all the best stuff. But there's also this other side. Okay. So anyways, it's crazy, but Diddy is another exposure of that. And they're scared of this being broken up. And this is why they love Ukraine so much, because Ukraine, the Clintons in 2014, they went into Ukraine and they led a color revolution so they could open this up to be the breadbasket for corruption in the West. So all the Western countries, America included, they use this as their place to traffic women and children and to launder money, and to create biolabs and stuff. It's the most, even the New York Times in 2017 called it the most corrupt nation in the world. Well, there's a reason for that, because it was being used. And that's why they're so afraid of Russia taking it over. All right. So all this crazy stuff, it doesn't even seem real until then you put the pieces together and you're like, oh my God, it makes sense. So why the hate trims? Now, this is where it really makes sense to me on the side of the Republicans. Because for me, for the life of me, once Trump won, I could never understand why the Republicans hated him so much. I was like, dude, he's the best Republican conservative president we've ever had in modern times. It doesn't make sense. Why do you hate him so much? The reason is because a lot of the Republicans are a part of this. The Bushes are a part of this. The McCains are a part of this. The McCain Foundation's almost as bad as the Clinton Foundation, maybe worse. And so all this stuff, okay, it keeps happening because of all this. And that's who ran the Republican side, was the Bushes and McCains. And so when that was Trump wiped most of that out, and they hate him for it. They hate him for it because the exposure is coming. And this is why Trump says certain things, like he went after child trafficking so hard. And why he does, whether they're not afraid of him just because he disagrees with them on policy. They're afraid of him because he's going to break the whole thing. And he went into Saudi Arabia and ended their child trafficking over there. Okay. That happened in 2017 with the fall of the princes. He put an end to the border, which is why do you think all of a sudden Biden and Kamala opened up the border so much? Two reasons. A, to keep themselves in power forever going forward if they can get all those illegals amnestied. B, so they can traffic children. And that's why over 300,000 children are missing. So you put all this together, and there's the evidence is overwhelming. Danielle says, annoyed your high school and college didn't tell us this stuff? Yeah, well, they're liberals. They're not going to tell you that stuff. Blue 5 says, a lot of religious YouTubers saying this changing because of 500-year cycle of red and white dragon, star constellation, mention Revelation. There's only that's partly true, Blue 5. It has nothing to do with red and white dragon and about star constellations and Revelation. Anyways, I'm doing my class tomorrow or this evening is going to be on Revelation on my Patreon. So if you guys want to read or watch that and know all about what Revelation is really about, you guys should check out that class on my Patreon. It's just do the free trial so you can watch it. I don't care if you buy the subscription, but do the free trial so you can watch my class on Revelation if you want to know about that, Blue 5. Oh, men's pants, big JR, jeez. Honey Badger, they go after innocent children because that's what the devil does. Desire to go after purity. Yep, that's a big part of it. Yeah, the artists do a lot of hand signs. Honey Badger, because if your child falls, stumbles in following God's commands and teachings, or departs like the prodigal sons, each with the swine, your child decides to return to the Lord. That's true. In fact, Proverbs says, raise your child in the way he should go, and he'll return to it. So even if you raise a child right, the promise from God is that they'll eventually return. Honey Badger says, there's a robe and a ring, and your child will be adopted in the kingdom of heaven. Satan can never go back to heaven, cast out 1/3. Yes. Spread of Christianity happened because of genocides. That's actually not true. That's a bad teaching that's been given to us. It's actually not true at all. It's that old belief, the Christianity spread from the blood of the martyrs. It's not true. It's partially true, but it's misleading. Is the truth. Matthew Parker, the Clintons robbed and destroyed Haiti. They did. Honey Badger, Christ didn't die in cover for Lucifer. There's a hatred of the offspring of the children of God. Hatred. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. Half of the U.S. government going to end up in prison? They might not be able to do that because it would just be too shocking and too overwhelming. So it's going to be interesting how the cleanup happens. But Drew says, what about the face from Castaway he puts on a soccer ball? You think that's correlated with each other and how I heard Hillary Clinton? I can't talk about that, Drew. I don't know. I know what you're talking about. That is something I can't talk about. That is, for one thing, it's unsubstantiated, even though I do believe it's very possibly true. But yeah, that's just something I can't talk about here. Drew, you tag me. No, I know what you're talking about. You don't need to tag me. AC, what's up? Yeah. So anyways, guys, but the Diddy stuff matters and the timing is crazy so I just gave you guys the background. All right. And there's more to it, but the short end of it is I just gave it to you and why they're so afraid of Trump. And it gets even crazier. Like the code words they have for little boys, little girls, this horrible things. Pizza is one of the code words, hot dogs, ice cream. These are all documented by the FBI. I'm not making it up. Plus their symbology. It's all documented by the FBI. It's real. And then you read like in the WikiLeaks emails, like Barack Obama throwing a party where he said there's going to be $65,000 worth of hot dogs there. Who buys $65,000 worth of hot dogs? We know the truth. Lots of talk about pizza parties going back and forth. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So Trump is the wrecking ball to all this. And this is, I'm being very open now because I just haven't gone here before, but one of the reasons because I was on YouTube. But members' lives, I think, are more safe. They're private. I don't think YouTube, we'll see. Maybe this video gets taken down. But the point is that he's coming in and putting an end to all this craziness with these parties, this insanity that's been going on for so long. And there's just been a great darkness in our nation, running the nation for many, many, many years, at least the last 60, 70 years. And how they got in and everything, I don't even know. I don't know the full story. I don't. It wasn't always this way. I can tell you that. Our founding fathers weren't a part of this. Abraham Lincoln wasn't a part of this. I don't know when it all started, and I don't know if anybody truly does, or if they do, they're dead or it's hidden. I don't know. But it's been going on for a long time. But God, in my opinion, needed a fighter. And that's why Trump is such a battering ram. And that's why I also believe God has brought Trump in, not just to save our nation politically, not just to save our future and our politics and bring wealth and prosperity back, but also more than anything else to save the children. I really believe that. And I think God has been hearing the cries and the prayers of people for so long. And the other thing that's crazy, I don't know if you guys have been following this, but there has been a massive exposure of all of this pedophilia, abuse of women in the church the last several years. And it's happening. It's happened to pastors I knew. It's happened to big pastors I used to follow or read their books. It's crazy. Now, it's not everybody, and it's certainly not most, but it's a lot. And that exposure is happening. Why? Because in the Bible it says judgment begins with his people. Judgment starts in the church. When God cleans up the church, he's ready to clean up the nation. And that's what's happening right now. The church, and most of you guys probably don't follow, and that's fine. The church has been being cleaned up the last several years. All this has been coming out. Many pastors falling. Why? Because it got into the church too, especially mega churches. And not all of them, again, I don't want it to sound like that. But anyways, the point is he's cleaning that up so he can clean up the rest. And, I don't believe God's in control of every detail of our lives. I don't. I believe he's in charge so he can oversee and step in if he wants to. But I believe he lets us all run most of our lives. Me, you, the person down the street, we're all day to day doing what we want to do. It's free will. But God intervenes at certain times, raises up people at certain times who he knows will step into stuff. And what I believe is that what's been happening is through all this craziness is God kept searching for somebody who could do this. And whoever, people didn't have the courage, they didn't have the resources, I don't know. But what eventually happened is that Trump was the person who, he was in it, he knew them, and he found out, and it changed, and his heart started changing because Trump always loved kids, no matter what. He always loved kids and regular people. And his heart, he actually had a good heart, even despite doing dumb stuff. And then when he saw this, it changed him. And then he became the one who's like, I have the money, I have the time, I'm going to take this out. It has to be me because nobody else will do it. And he says that. Trump says, I'd be happy to have stayed back in my place, but nobody else would do it. It had to be me. And so this is what's going on right now. And the Diddy thing just proves it even more. It just proves it even more. This is everywhere. And I think in the next 5-10 years, we're going to see the fall of Hollywood completely. I think we're going to see the fall of the music industry completely. The fall of the politicians is already happening. The fall of the evil church people is already happening. This is going to continue and accelerate because God's purging all of it. Doesn't mean it'll be every single person, but the people in power, the worst, are it's coming for them. Judgment's coming on these people who refused to change. And this, the fact they went after Diddy right now, I think it was divine. I don't think the FBI timed it this way for a reason. I don't think the politicians timed it this way for a reason. I think God just knew if I arrange all this stuff a certain way, lead this person this way, lead this person this way, it'll all come together. And this is bam, going to happen right before the election. And the exposure is going to start. And I actually think we're going to start hearing more and more coming from the, this coming out. I don't think Diddy's going to die. I don't know why. I think he's going to squeal. I do. Matthew Parker says there must be some good people left in the FBI if they let this come out now. 100%. Listen, it's not the FBI agents that are all corrupted, or the people who work on the desks. It is the FBI leadership. Most people in the FBI, I believe, are regular people who just joined the industry and they're like, we want to make a difference. And they just do what the FBI tells them to do. And sometimes that's bad, obviously. And I don't know how many of them go against their conscience. But I'm sure some do. And I don't know how many stand up. We're never going to hear about that. But I guarantee you there's still good people in the FBI. AC says the FBI seems like they're on the side of these sickos. Do I agree? I do believe that the people in charge of the FBI are. Those allowed to get into the leadership of the FBI, I believe, are completely corrupted. Listen, the CIA loves this. The CIA, Mossad, Secret Services, MI6, they love this stuff. You know why they love this stuff? Because they can use it to entrap people. They can use it to keep people, to expose them, to blackmail them, to control them. And we know the CIA, the crazy stuff coming over the CIA for years and years and years, including Charles Manson. If you guys read the book Chaos about Charles Manson, it's wild. It was all a CIA op. Okay. But that kind of stuff it's just horrific what the CIA will do to do terrible things to people. So, and I believe the introduction of the CIA is one of the things that really ramped this up, and they're probably watching right now, but I don't care. So anyways, guys, I just, this is why I wanted to talk about this, because I think the Diddy thing is just more and more proof that Trump's going to win this. I really do. John Doe, thank God you never went to a pizza party. Honey Badger said, word of the day, catamite. Oh, God. I don't want to use that word. That's a terrible word. But IRS is on the side of evil. Well, of course they are. They're stealing our money and doing all kinds of terrible things. All right, so just for a quick laugh real quick. This is the Kamala defense. Judge, why should we grant you bail? Diddy, well, I come from a middle-class family. It's too funny. Honey Badger says, is right on target. Look up Economist 2012. December cover, Road to Hell. It's on the cover of Economist 2012. Talk about predictive programming. Really? Okay, I'll try to find that. AC, do I think the FBI or CIA are ever handling the Diddy case will expose the Obama or Oprah? I don't know. I think some of them are stuck. I'll just be honest with you. I do think there might be some stuff coming from other places. I think there might be some pressure actually pushing this stuff out. I do. I don't know what it all looks like, but I think there's secret ops going on both sides. I'll just put it that way. Katie Cat says, I'm working the inauguration this year for the military. You worked in 2017. You got to salute for armed services ball. It was amazing starting in October. That's amazing, Katie. Good for you. Oh, Jesus, let it be Trump. Let it be Trump. Okay, let me play this. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw this the other night. This is crazy. Okay, so this is, once you know this stuff, by the way, what I've just been talking about, all these horrific, crazy things. Once you know it, you can't unsee it, and you start to see it everywhere. And these jokes people make and stuff, it becomes crazier and crazier. Listen to what Gutfeld said yesterday on the 5.
Golden ticket back in 2016 when Oprah didn't run. I don't know how that didn't happen. She's like the best public speaker. She gave the best speech at the DNC, maybe at the RNC too. She's the most well-connected woman on earth. She has all the name recognition you could ever want.
Skeletons in a closet.
Oh, come on.
Donald Trump.
It's almost like it doesn't want me
The
to see it. Here,
Democrats,
let me make it
Harold,
bigger.
like really
so I
missed
can
the
control
big.
it. Okay, did you guys hear this, what he says? I think my internet doesn't want me to play these videos. Come on. That's strange. That's a little weird. It's a little strange.
All
right.
The Democrats,
Here we
Harold,
go. I'll
like
just
really missed the big golden ticket back in 2016 when Oprah didn't run. I don't know how that didn't happen. She's like the best public speaker. She gave the best speech at the DNC, maybe at the RNC too. She's the most well-connected woman on earth. She has all the name recognition you could ever want.
Skeletons in a closet.
Okay, well, it doesn't want to hear that.
Donald Trump saying,
There it is.
What did you say?
She eats humans.
She eats humans.
Yeah, skeletons in a
Well,
closet.
Donald Trump even said you have
You see Gutfeld right there? That's not silly Gutfeld. That's a real face right there that believes it. He said, they're talking about Oprah, and he said she eats children. She eats children. Oprah's got some dark stuff in her closet, guys. And you see who, like, she called her spiritual advisor, John of God, the guy in South America who's now in prison for 100 years because of trafficking women and children. I mean, crazy. And so Gutfeld says this yesterday. And then we have this this clip of Shia LaBeouf talking about Steven Spielberg right here.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies. Whole babies.
Yeah,
Is that crazy right there, what he says? Let's just do it real quick because it's short.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg?
Secret about Steven Spielberg.
He eats babies.
He eats babies. I'm telling you, like, this rabbit hole gets crazy the deeper and deeper you go. There's just so many just crazy things. So, and you get like this getting called out right here. It's going to be really awkward when all these celebrities endorsing Kamal turn out to be Diddy clients. Yeah, just wait, guys. Just wait. We're only at the beginning of this. Here's another clip I want to show you. It's all going to come out. Whistleblowers now feel a little less threatened with retaliation. Now Diddy's behind bars. And, I mean, listen to this about Will Smith.
Rome, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will. Let me process that for a second. Who was on top?
It wasn't a top. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder. Murder. It was murder in there.
Face.
Okay. What did you do?
I froze. What did you, see, I'm not used to seeing. Listen, it's traumatizing.
I mean, it's so much crazy stuff, guys. It's gonna be coming out. I'm telling you, it's crazy. They're doing damage control, right? Honey Badger shows Obama on a pride boat. Hamas and Israel flying in gliders. Bankers being swallowed up by mountain monster. Power grid outages. Computer hacking. Lots of really. They did that in The Economist. That's crazy. We'd be an amazing country if they got the bad actors out. I agree. You read somewhere Spielberg's producing and directing this whole Kamal command. Really? That'd be interesting. All right, I'll check that out, Honey Badger. You guys, that's crazy. Blue 5 says need to process this. I'm telling you, man, it's nuts. Yeah, hey, media, I got my Oktoberfest right here, buddy. Because this stuff is not easy to. It doesn't go down easy. All this craziness. You just have to. It's like I said. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's LeBron. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. LeBron James judged as a French maid. I mean, think of how many crazy things are going to come out. Celebrities, politicians, musicians. We're crossing the Rubicon, guys. We're crossing a Rubicon right now. Epstein was like we saw it in the distance. We're like, oh, well, that's interesting. What happens if we go over there? I wonder what could happen. And now we've been, 2019 they got Epstein? We've been slowly moving forward, right? Hey. Just chugging along. And now we're like, oh, hey, Diddy. Oh, shoot, we're here now. Now it's like, oh, where are we going now? What happens when we cross this bridge? And listen, I mean, here's J-Lo. J-Lo dated Diddy. P Diddy is her boyfriend. Decided Kamala Harris would make a great president. Yeah, I'll pass. I mean, here's Kim Kardashian. Her lawyer hit me with a cease and desist after I posted a video where someone suggested she might be under FBI investigation for blackmail, drugging men, possibly being involved in the infamous Diddy tapes. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys. It's just going to keep going. And, you know, like I said, growing up in California, there were whispers. And I'll never forget one of the craziest, scariest things somebody ever told me was I wanted to go to Hollywood. I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to do screenplays and hopefully direct someday. That's what I wanted to do as a kid. And I knew a woman who'd been in Hollywood. She was like in her 60s now. She was a friend of my mom. And my mom was like, hey, this woman, I can't remember her name. I think it was Tony, Toni. He was like, Tony wants to talk to you about this Hollywood dream you have. And I was like, cool, let's talk. So she came down and I'll never forget her words. She said, hey, you can do this. That's fine. She was like, but just remember, you better be ready. Because if you're not ready and you don't get your foundation right now, she's like, you'll lose your soul. She said, it's darker than you can imagine down there. And that scared me so much. I never went. I changed my career. I slowed down. I started looking at other stuff I want to do. And I used to regret that, but now I don't. Now I see how God's opening up other things for me. And that's great. But, and maybe he'll bring it back in some way. But I tell you what, if I'd gone down there at 18, which is what I was thinking of, who knows? Who knows what would have happened to me? Or where I would have gone. 18-year-olds, you don't make good decisions. Even when you have really, really good roots, some can withstand it, and I can't tell you if I would have or not, but others get sucked in. And, that's what they want. They want to take care of you when you're young. So, but that's what I knew. I didn't know any deeper stuff than that. And then I remember my dad used to drive before he died for a few years. he would drive this guy to church every morning on Sundays. And the guy was, he was like autistic plus. He was he couldn't take care of himself. He had a little apartment, but he was government subsidized. Nice guy, but just weird. But he was really into conspiracy theories. And he'd always give my dad like these DVDs to watch and all this crazy stuff. And I was like, I'd see the stuff. I'd be like, oh my God, this stuff's crazy. This guy's crazy. And now I'm like, man, I wish I had some of that stuff. I'm like, what did this guy know? But he said, my dad would always say, like, he'd be telling him all this stuff. My dad was like, okay. But anyways, my point is this stuff's been along for a long time. And it used to be very hard to see it all. But yeah, it's getting crazy. Will took his anger out on Chris Rock. I mean, who knows? Blue 5, you're thinking of all the rumors, crazy stuff you saw in Hollywood. Didn't realize that. Now I'm glad I didn't go further. Yeah. Drew, I respect my refusal to dive down a kind of rabbit hole. No, I did go down it, Drew, and it's very disturbing. Yeah, Toe, right? Listen, I mean, I'll tell you guys, completely honest. When I first really went deep on this, it was during the summer of 2020, when we just all had more time on our hands. And I was so upset at the COVID stuff. I was just looking for more information on everything behind the scenes. And I found so many dark things that they super disturbed me. And I did have trouble sleeping at night. And I really wrestled with God a lot of this stuff. Like, how can you let this happen? You know, it was very scary stuff. Now I've made peace. I've recovered from the trauma of first finding out a lot of things. Because and I recommend most of you guys don't go too deep. I went too deep on a couple things, found stuff that just, I pray that they get caught. I pray that there's stuff that stops it, but you don't want to know. But it's disturbing. It gets very disturbing when you get into some of the details of this. And if you really want to hear some stuff, if you just can't help yourselves, listen to Martyr Made podcast and listen to his 3-part Epstein series. And he goes into really deep stuff on the history of a lot of these things, how they've been trying to expose it even since the 90s. Stuff that was going on in Belgium and stuff. It's crazy. Coopers, do I think there'll be executions if any of the tapes show proof of cannibalism? I don't know, Coopers. That's a great question. I don't think we're at the point in our society and culture anymore where we'd be cool with public executions. I just don't. So I think a lot of it will just be handled behind the scenes. I really do, because you can destabilize a culture if you get too crazy with how you deal with justice and this kind of stuff, because it's too destabilizing for so many people. It's too crazy. You have to walk up to this stuff. You have to ease into it. You can't just throw this at people who have no idea, because it's too shocking. It's too insane. So, and here's another thing right here. So this is, I didn't care anything about Diddy till I watched this. Explains why it's different than Maxwell, why he'll talk. I'm not going to play it because it's 12 minutes long, but I'm going to share the link here if you guys want to watch this. I don't know if that link will share. It looks like it's not. Let me try another way. Let me just try to do it this. Let me see if this will just share the link. There it is. Yeah, if you guys want to check that out. If you want to watch this video. But anyways, I just, the more I listen to stuff, I think he's going to squeal, and I think things are coming out, and it's going to be really interesting. Peter Udoka, this is a year of truth. One by one, the dominoes will fall. Yeah, I don't know if it'll all come out this year, but I'll tell you that I think that, well, I told you guys at the beginning of the year, I think 2024 is the year that is the hinge of history. And I told you guys at the beginning of the year that I think this is going to be the craziest year we've all lived through. I think with the election, with Wall Street, with exposure, all this stuff, it's going to be the craziest year because it's the turning point year. Everything after this will be before 2024 and after 2024. That's what I believe. And I just feel like I've been completely vindicated in that view, because more and more just keeps happening. That's insane. There's a reason I changed this channel, and I can't go back. You know, I used to talk about stocks almost nonstop, and that was fine. It had its season. But at this point, there's not much else I can say. I still believe in Finger. I still believe in DJT. I'm praying the GTI. There's still hope there. And other than that, I'm just like, I'll talk about stuff if it comes up. I just, you know, the world got too crazy, and it's too important to ignore a lot of this stuff. So I just have to stay on this for as long as I feel like my heart's leading me in that direction. And maybe I'll never go back to stocks. Maybe I will. I don't know. But this just has to be the new direction. And listen, I've lost viewers. I've lost influence, all that stuff. I've had a lot of people like leave my audience, tell me they're mad at me or they don't like my new content. It's fine. I don't care. I don't care if you like it. This has to be out there. Whether it's this, whether it's the Trump polls so people can understand them better, whether it's exposing Kamala, whatever it is, this is the most important stuff in the world we're talking about right now. And not enough people are talking about it. And so that's why that's why I'm where I'm at now. And that's why I keep going that way. Because this is, it's not about me. It's not just about you. It's about the kids. It's about saving our world as it is. Because, guys, I'm telling you, if these people win, if Kamala wins, which she's not, but if she did, they will take the next step because they can't afford to risk losing again. They will change everything. They will take over. They will put down their claws into America. The reason Biden wasn't able to fully get us there is because Trump had those 4 years before, and they had to undo what Trump did first, and before they could take the next level. Okay, but that next level will happen under Kamala.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies.
Oh, that's weird. Someone just started playing. But yeah, that next level is just like, why did this start playing again? That's so weird. Weird stuff. But if they take over, listen, it's not just us. Like I said, it's not just we'll lose our country, which I believe we do, but there will be more and more horrible, horrible things like they'll be able to keep running their sex cults with their abuse of children, all this horrible stuff. It'll just keep going. And listen, like Donna says right now, you don't want to know about it. I get it, Donna. None of us do, but it's real. And sometimes we have to face it and stop pretending that we live in a perfect world. There's a lot of evil out there. There's more good than evil, way more good than evil, but the evil has to be dealt with. And so that's what we got to take care of. And that's what's happening right now, especially with Trump. And that's why and I'll tell you guys, like, I know I've had a lot of people, you're so crazy, Trump, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, there's been a lot of stuff I didn't feel right. It was the right time to talk about yet. Why? But this is the real reason why. He's not just another politician. He's going to save millions of children. He's going to get our country back on track. That's why I love Trump as a leader, and the team he's put together is amazing. You think RFK really is only about the health from a CDC perspective? No way. He knows what else is going on too. He's just not talking about it. They all do. And that's why they're all really changing and leaving the side they used to be on. Yeah, Marina Abramovich is horrible, Coopers. And she's behind so many of them. Jeffrey, you had two friends, left Fort Lauderdale, college age, moved to Hollywood. One came back, others still there, both living a normal life now. I have crazy stories. Oh, I believe it. Yeah, Lyrical Lava will get. I love Ham no matter what too, and I'll have Ham back. Ham believes in all this stuff too, but he just doesn't talk political much because he's so focused on the stock win. Andy says, never heard any of this. Very disturbing. Not sure how much I want to know. Pace yourself. Keep praying for. Yeah, Andy, it's tough, and you gotta. Yeah, you don't need to go deeper. Let me put it that way. There's some people like myself, we went deeper. Some of it I wish I hadn't done, but some of it was just curiosity and I went too far. But I also think the initial stuff, God did let me know so I could pray and fight in the right direction. Blue 5, you're not mad as long as you get a Ham update every once in a while. Yeah, it is good for Evil. Thanks, John Doe. I will be me, Jeffrey. I think I've proven that to you guys by now, right? I'll always be me. Blue 513 families, dark. Yeah. Cooper's Hillary was supposed to usher in the New World Order. Trump stopped that. Biden tried to get us back, but Trump will stop again. 100%. Katie says, came for the stock, stayed for the political use. Yeah. Thank you. You're exactly right, Coopers. In fact, the entire thing with Obama, he failed in his greatest mission. Obama's number one mission was to get rid of our guns. And that's why they had Sandy Hook and all these crazy things happen under Obama. And they pushed it so hard. I don't know if you guys remember, but under Obama, we got closer than ever to having a wave of laws infringe our Second Amendment rights. But the people fought back. And that was his goal. That was his main reason in office. And by doing that, he could have set up Hillary to get us into World War III and all these other horrible things to finally finish it. Trump ruined everything. And then Biden came in. Biden's a nincompoop. And also on top of that, Trump set us up and helped us. Now, Trump wasn't perfect the first term. I don't think he realized how bad it was going to be and how hard. So there were mistakes made. But he still did a good enough job to help us survive our country this long. But if he loses this time, it's over. It is. At least for a few generations until a new generation rises up and can overwhelm whoever's in power. But it won't be our generation. This is our shot. This is our shot. Yeah, Isaac Cappy. No, that's a dark road to go down too. Just so you guys know, Isaac Cappy was an actor in several movies. He found out about this stuff, started exposing it through a bunch of videos. And you'd recognize him if you saw him in a couple movies, small roles, but he was in a bunch of stuff. But anyways, then they killed him. He died out of nowhere one day. I think he fell off a bridge and got hit by a car. Blue 5 is not a swamp, it needs to be drained. It's a dark empire, it needs to be dismantled. That's a good way of putting it. Lyrical Ham's grades, knowledge priceless. Once Market gets his act together, what he has explained will be priceless. We're waiting. Also, William and me. Thank you, Lyrical. I appreciate that. You know, guys, I don't know why I felt it was time to do this, but after hearing Megyn Kelly talk about it, I was like, you know what? We've never gone down this road, and I think it's time. I think it's time because it's in the headlines, and so just wanted to bring this up to you guys. A lot of the stuff I've been hearing, and Ian Carroll, right here, he's excellent on this stuff. He doesn't have all of it yet, but he's learning and he does great videos. So if you guys follow him, he does great conspiracy stuff. The Martyr Made podcast, if you want to pursue it further. But just all the dark behind the scenes stuff, these guys are really good at exposing. Matthew Parker, speaking of World War III, we're closer than ever. I agree we're closer than ever, Matthew Parker, but I also don't think we're going to go there. I think, now this is a crazy belief and you guys can disagree with me. I don't care. It's just my personal belief. I'm not saying I have proof of this. I believe that Trump talked to Putin, and I believe he talked to President Xi of China. And I think Trump knows, I don't think he's worried about Russia at all. They can't hurt us. I think he knows China's a threat to us economically. But I also think he knew that Putin and Xi are completely independent. They want nothing to do with the West, with Europe, with all this darkness and nonsense. They want to do their own thing. Xi wants to run his communist China and just be China. Putin wants to run Russia. Yes, he's authoritarian-ish, but he just cares about Russia. And neither of them are looking to take over the world, and none of them want anything to do with the West. I think Trump knew that. And he talked to these guys and was like, look, these people want to get you into war. These people want to do this. Now, we have our disagreements, but if you guys can keep this going and avoid getting us into war during this time, you know, I'm going to do everything I can to dismantle this craziness that we have in our country. And I really believe that. I do. And I believe Putin is, like you say, he's backed in a corner. I believe he is, but I also believe he's patient. He's waiting for Trump. I really do. I think they've been trying to get Putin to go full on war with NATO for the last 2 years. I really do. Think of all the things they've done to antagonize him, but he hasn't bitten. And I think he's waiting to see what happens with this election. I think if Kamala comes in, he's going to go F it. But I think if Trump comes in, he's going to say, okay, I'm holding off. Because I don't think, and it's not that Trump and Putin agree, it's not that they're buddies, but they do have a common enemy. And that enemy is this Western deep state, this dark governmental forces in the UK, US, Eurozone, all that. And so that's what I believe. You know, how many times were we told China's going to invade Taiwan, and they didn't? We were looking for a reason to fight them. I just think, I think there's a lot of stuff there. Drew says, this is the best podcast, a mix of everything I believe, God, hearing a biblical perspective about these scenarios, really great. Appreciate it. Thank you, Drew. Drew, that means a lot to me, man. I really appreciate you saying that. If I can be the best of anything for you, I appreciate that. Thank you. I see the post about Bernie Sanders. Yeah, I did. I'm not going to pull it up. He's definitely controlled. Ian is great. What's up, Zechariah? Pull up the Economist cover. Okay, I'm going to look this up. What's it called again? Economist Road to Hell. 2013. This one you're talking about? No. I don't know, man. Their show don't want to show it. No, this is all about, maybe it's on Twitter. Is this it? A rough guide to hell. Interesting. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up here. Rough guide to hell. Here we go. I don't think it's going to show me the cover. Unless this is it. Is that it? That's pretty crazy. AC says, I agree with your theory about Russia, China, and Trump. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Yeah, Ian's amazing, man, Jeffrey. AC, when Putin endorsed Kamala right away, I thought, oh, he and Trump got a plan. Yeah, he did it for fun. Abrams was in here. I don't know if Spicy Salad's in here. Anthony, you're going to get your 40 spankings? I can't be there since you're in Texas, buddy. But, hey, guys, my best friend Anthony from first grade, that's him in the chat right there. Today's his 40th birthday, so give that guy a shout-out. I bought him a 2-month beer club because I'm a good friend. Honey Badger, people are yearning, searching for the truth. Been covered up. Agree. Yeah. So this isn't the one, Honey Badger? Okay, I'll try again. All right, Zachariah. I'm going to try one more time, man. Honey Badger. December 2012. All right, let's see here. I mean, this is what came up again. There's a bunch of different colors. I guess it's this one? But those are all videos. I want the actual cover. You want me to do the cover, right? I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to find it unless you see it. Peter Udoka says, I can't wait to vote. Never vote for you're right. If Trump loses, the world is done. If people want only one stock, plenty of sources. Yeah. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that, man. He says he won't leave. Yeah, man, I agree. And that's the other reason I stopped doing stocks. I just thought there were plenty of good stuff. William and Ham cover it really well every day. You guys can watch that. Need to buy Anthony 240-ounce Old English. Oh, God. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. I think it's weird that Michelle Obama is going around Costco trying to sell an energy drink. I do think it's weird. It sounds very desperate. There's a lot of happy birthdays for you, Anthony. So I guess this is it, huh? The rough guide to hell. That's pretty weird. That's a terrible picture. All right, let me go back to the one I was at. Yeah, I think this is the better picture of it right here. Get a little more detail. Peter with the $10 donation. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. That's awesome. This month is when the demonetized videos is starting to catch up to my channel a lot more. So I really appreciate the donation this month. I really do. So, okay. So yeah, we got, I mean, Satan like flying these guys. Here's Israel. That looks like Hamas. British journalists spewing out oil, the devil with oil, Wall Street crumbling, gluttony, Kim Jong-un, Putin. Yeah, I mean, it seems right, doesn't it? America drunk on oil, Uncle Sam. Yeah. This is the only part I disagree with is American drunk on oil. We need oil and we need more of it. But, you know, that's a left-wing thing. So makes sense. But anyways, guys, well, hey, on that note, oh, thanks, Honey Badger. Appreciate the donation, man. I really do. Thank you. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for supporting me, members. I really appreciate it. I do. And like I said, if you guys want more on the Bible stuff, I've been deep diving the end times the last few weeks on my Patreon, so you guys can go check that out if you want. I'll put the link here. Just do the free trial, and you guys can watch those videos if you want. I'll be doing Revelation today or tomorrow. Oh, it's not the full picture? Okay, I'll try to find it and put up another time. Anthony says, thanks everyone. Get me to game with you tonight. It's been a while. Yeah, how dare you? We got to play some Fortnite tonight. Comments has a knack in showing the future. Really? I didn't know that. Get ready for World Currency 88. Crazy. Thanks, Casey. Appreciate it. Yeah, these member lives are where I can really cut loose. And we'll see if this one, it's weird, but it might be kind of important. So I might release this one to the public after we do this, after maybe a week or two. We'll see, just so more people can hear. But it also could get me banned from YouTube. Who knows? So anyways, yeah, guys. So again, yeah, thanks, Blue 5. Check it out. But you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Love you guys. I hope you guys enjoy tomorrow. Rest on Sunday, whether you're watching football or going to church, both, whatever. Have a great time. I think I might get to go to an Oktoberfest tomorrow, so that's exciting. But love you guys so much. I really, again, appreciate you members. Your guys' support is the reason I can keep doing this as much as I do. And so I do not take that lightly. I really don't. And I also like the members' lives because I can talk more freely. Because I think because it's private, YouTube doesn't bother me as much about the videos. So, but love you guys. Appreciate the support. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys soon, either tomorrow or Monday for a public